Good Friday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside that weather window. And first full day of spring, and boy did it feel like it out there today. Beautiful weather all across north central Washington. This is our Butte camera up around the Chelan area, looking down at beautiful Lake Chelan and a little bit of snow-covered hilltops there. But it was a gorgeous day with lots of sunshine out there, light winds, and temperatures almost all over north central Washington into the lower 60s. And that trend will continue as we move through the upcoming weekend. Saturday, expect temperatures mid-50s to mid-60s around north central Washington. Sunday, pretty much the same thing. We will begin to see some clouds moving in late Sunday night, and that means some shower activity as we get into the first part of next week. But we have no rain or not much wind in our forecast this weekend. Hope you have some outdoor plans because the weather is going to be favorable for it, that's for sure. More on that a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. Recent coronavirus cases were discovered through drive-through community testing put in place by Confluence Health, but now they're shut down. Like other healthcare facilities statewide, Cascade Medical Center in Leavenworth is suspending some important but medically non-essential services. East Wenatchee City Hall is the latest and possibly the last local public building to close its doors this week as part of the COVID-19 response. But first, we begin tonight. A third patient in Chelan County has tested positive for novel coronavirus infection. The Chelan Douglas Health District reported the finding this morning, but medical authorities wouldn't release information about the patient's identity or medical status. Confluence Health spokesman Andrew Canning said the patient was tested by Confluence staff, and the result came back from the University of Washington Health Laboratories Thursday night. He said the health district asked Confluence not to disclose further information about COVID-19 patients aside from county of residence. Two other patients identified this week are isolated after their diagnosis. One other patient, a Grant County resident, died 2 weeks ago of COVID-19 complications while hospitalized in Wenatchee. The discovery of new cases is not unexpected, the district said. Continued social distancing practices and rigorous hand washing are still encouraged. The case becomes one of 1,376 detected in Washington so far, with 74 deaths from the virus. Well, recent coronavirus cases were discovered, as I mentioned, through drive-through community testing put in place by Confluence Health. In a press conference Thursday with local leaders, CEO Peter Rutherford said it's a good idea for the Wenatchee Valley, but he explained supply problems led to the end of quick testing just 4 days after it began.
So we set that up and we used it, and we did it not so much for any one individual's knowledge, because we don't have any treatment for this other than support once you get sick. But we did it in an effort to try to find an epidemiologic level of this condition in our community. But we had to stop it because the availability of the viral transport media to take the sample after we obtain it and get it to the lab is in a critical short supply around the country, and there is no more of it. And we can argue about why that is, but that's for another day. The reality is it isn't here. We do have a few tests left, about 100 or 2, but we are going to use those for people who need hospitalized because we need to know who's sick, so we need to know who to use the personal protective equipment again to protect our employees. If it improves in the future, we will do it, but we aren't at this moment. The second dilemma is once you obtain the test right now, the turnaround time is 7 days to get the result. We have overwhelmed the test performing locations that are available, and that's not doing any of us any good. We have also started working with, and have worked very well with, I think, and had great cooperation from the local nursing homes, the assisted living facilities, the adult family homes, to be able to screen our more vulnerable populations about when and if an infection strikes in those facilities, with a goal to keep them in those facilities if we can. so that we don't fill up our precious hospital resources. We are also planning with the health department and with Dave Olson from Columbia Valley about where are the alternative beds going to be available. There are a multitude of options, and we are developing those both from a bed and infrastructure perspective as well as people. But the trained staff is going to be a very precious resource.
You can view the full press conference from Thursday on our website at ncwlife.com. Well, like other healthcare facilities statewide, Cascade Medical Center in Leavenworth is suspending some important but medically non-essential services. Those include mammography, rehabilitation, and physical therapy. Staff in those areas will move to other duties. Hospital CEO Diane Blake says the practice keeps Cascade workers and the public more safe from the spread of coronavirus. East Wenatchee City Hall is the latest and possibly the last local public building to close its doors this week as part of the COVID-19 response. Mayor Jerry Crawford announced the closure Thursday night. Like other government agencies, including county offices and the city of Wenatchee, East Wenatchee wants residents to use its online or telephone services instead of using the offices in person. City staff remain available 8 o'clock a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday by phone. The city's website for services is eastwenatchee.com. Well, coming up next, the Wenatchee School District has expanded its meal services by designating drop-off spots. A former Quincy City employee who was sexually harassed on the job cannot sue the city for her disability claim. Current indicators reveal a mixed bag of economic news for the Wenatchee Metropolitan Statistical Area for January of this year. We'll have more as well. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Hi, this is Brian Snyder with Black Rock Asphalt Services here in Wenatchee, your local Black Rock seal coat company. Have you looked at your driveway or parking lot lately? Is it gray and oxidized? Does it have cracks that have not been taken care of? Or do you have striping that is pretty much non-existent? Please give us a call locally here, 509-665-9769. Learn more at blackrockasphaltsealcoating.com.
Boating in the Wenatchee Valley starts at Bob File Boats and Motors. See their full line of Crown Line boats. When you want to escape from reality, make a Crown Line boat your choice of entertainment. Enjoy time with a friend in your socially distant boat. With low interest rates and lower gas prices, now's the time to buy. See Crown Line boats at Bob File Boats and Motors on Sunset Highway in East Wenatchee or online at bobfile.com.
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
Welcome back. In another news, the Wenatchee School District has expanded its meal services by designating drop-off spots. Even though school was canceled as of last Tuesday, the district has continued to provide pickup meals at most of its schools. The district went a step further on Thursday with mobile deliveries. The meals are available from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday through Friday. A complete list of the drop-off sites can be found on the district's website at wenatcheeschools.org. A former Quincy City employee who was sexually harassed on the job cannot sue the city for her disability claim. That's the finding of the State Court of Appeals. The woman was working as an administrative assistant in 2014 when a male coworker harassed her to the point of exposing himself in the office. The male staffer was fired and the woman took leave for treatment of PTSD, but 9 months later the city fired her too for failing to return to work. The appeals court says a Grant County judge was right to throw out her lawsuit against the city because she never asked for a reasonable accommodation for her disability. In other news, current indicators reveal a mixed bag for the Wenatchee Metropolitan Statistical Area for January of this year. On the positive side, preliminary non-farm employment estimates indicate that job growth rates in the Wenatchee MSA have increased each of the past 3 months, encouraging economic news. Also, the local civilian labor force has expanded year over year in 30 of the past 31 months from July of 2017 through January of 2020. That indicates that Chelan and Douglas County residents are still entering the labor force. On the negative side, non-farm job growth in the Wenatchee MSA was less than stellar in 2019, especially when one considers that Washington's non-farm market expanded at a 2% pace last year. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today. 509-663-1710.
Introducing the most capable Sierra lineup ever.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Just like everybody else in the House of Representatives, Congresswoman Kim Schreier is trying to stay healthy while she does the nation's business, including emergency legislation on coronavirus. In tonight's feature story, the 8th District Democrat took a break today to stop a talk by Skype with NCWLIFE's Jefferson Robbins.
One of the things that we really needed was these Section 1135 waivers, because there are so many rules with Medicare and Medicaid that are meant to protect. For example, the typical rule is that before somebody recovering from, say, knee surgery in the hospital can go to inpatient rehabilitation, they need to spend 72 hours in the hospital. That means that hospital bed is taken up by somebody who doesn't need to be in a hospital bed. And so it undoes rules like that. It also allows for the setup of drive-through testing, which keeps people away from the hospital. Is so important, and will allow, for example, the Army Corps of Engineers to be able to build accessory facilities where people can go and get treated. So it really gets rid of a lot of red tape, and we asked for it over a week ago.
One of the problems, though, is that on the ground, we see it here in Wenatchee, the availability of testing and testing supplies has been an issue. So is there anything Congress can do to enable greater availability of that testing?
So when we put through that bill, and that part of the bill was mine, it was free testing so that there wouldn't be co-pays. If somebody didn't have insurance, they could still get tested. The idea was that we did not want anybody to not see their doctor, not get tested, not take sick leave for financial reasons. So that whole sort of first financial package was to make sure people could get tested and stay home from work and stay home with their children if they needed to. The problem is that there's this disconnect right now between what we hear from the administration. I don't want to get political about this, and what we're really seeing on the ground, because we hear things like, oh, there'll be drive-through testing. Anybody who wants a test can get a test. And yet we're running out of swabs. We're running out of reagents. Test kits aren't getting everywhere. The nurses and doctors who want to do the testing don't have the right personal protective equipment to put on. And so the reality on the ground does not match what we're hearing in the national news. The reality on the ground is that we have very few tests, and they need to be reserved for first responders, people who work in healthcare providers, and for people who are the sickest or at highest risk. And you know, I'm also frustrated that we see this mixed message coming from, you know, basketball players who are being tested with no symptoms, and that is a waste of resources that people who are ill really need.
Are there steps that Congress can take, though, to sort of open up that channel, more financing or funding for testing, for example?
Sure. You know, it is not a question of funding. We have provided a ton of funding. What this is really a question of, I believe, is the administration stepping up. We've heard about talk with 3M and Honeywell. We've heard about we make requests every week from the national stockpile. But let me just put this in perspective. The anticipation is we're going to need over 1 billion of these N95 masks, and there are in the single millions in the national stockpile. And between us and New York and California, we're going to blow through that really quickly. And in my opinion, what we need is for this to be part of the Defense Production Act, where our president doesn't just talk about having that, but really uses it and says, okay, T-shirt makers, it's time to start making masks instead. Okay, you know, we heard Tesla offered and to start making ventilators. It is time, in fact, a month ago was time to start getting that going. And Again, I don't mean to be alarmist, but I want to put real numbers out there. There's something like 72,000 ventilators in the entire country, and that includes the national stockpile. And the estimates vary, but it's around that. If half the people in our country are going to get this, that's 150 million people. And if 5% of them need to be in the ICU, we are looking at a world of hurt.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. And before we get to those details, let's take a look outside our weather window and take a look at what it looks like for this first full day of spring. Couldn't be more spring-like out there as we head up to the Manson and Chelan areas. You can see Lake Chelan, a little bit of snow still on the hilltops around Chelan. But all in all, with these warm temperatures and all kinds of sunshine, it's not going to last too long. What a gorgeous day for the first full day of spring. High temperatures unofficially today, 61 degrees at Pangbourne Airport. 55 is where we should be for this time of year. 34 was our overnight low, and that's pretty much where we should be for this time of year. Record high, 70 degrees. That was set back in 1960. Record low back in 2002 at 26 degrees. Sunrise 7:02. Sunset now is at 7:14. Let's take a peek at how our weekend's going to shape up, at least for the first day of our weekend tomorrow. And I think you're really going to like it. I hope and really hope you have outdoor plans this weekend. It's going to be beautiful both days. 65 in Moses Lake tomorrow, 64 for Ephrata, 63 in Quincy, Ellensburg, and Wenatchee. We will see 62 degrees for a high. And almost all of us in our viewing area, with the exception of Lake Wenatchee, at least 60 degrees as we get into our Saturday. It should be a nice one. Taking a look at the surface loop now, cloud cover basically non-existent as we get in tonight. It will be clear and mild. We are seeing an area of low pressure just off the California coast. That's swinging a little bit of shower activity into California, but keeping the Pacific Northwest under a nice ridge of high pressure, and that's going to last into Saturday. Sunny, also unseasonably mild. We'll see some records, I think, tomorrow around parts of Washington State. We're approaching 70 degrees in the Tri-Cities tomorrow. Lots of mid-60s all across the eastern and central part of Washington. Partly cloudy on Sunday. That may keep our temperature down just a little bit, but we're still, most of us, going to see 60-degree temperatures. Here's our next weather maker coming down the coast of British Columbia, and it's going to continue its southeasterly trek until it moves just off Vancouver Island, and that'll throw some shower activity our way on Monday. Only a 20% chance of it, though. But with that airflow now coming down from the northwest, that means some cooler air behind that as well. So just slightly cooler temperatures as we get into the first part of next week. A 20% chance for rain on Tuesday. I think that's our best shot for rain. Will be Tuesday of next week. We get a bit of a break as we move into our hump day Wednesday next week with mostly sunny skies, dry conditions. Temperatures about where we should see them this time of year on Wednesday. And then another storm system once again, coming down the province of British Columbia will bring us another chance for some showers, even some snow in the Cascades as we get into Thursday. Temperature-wise, still in the mid-50s, but expect at least a 20% chance for rain showers. Let's take a look now at your Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling 7-day forecast. And tonight we will drop down to a mild 36 degrees in Wenatchee, 62. Don't you love it? For a high on Saturday tomorrow, 36 the low, 61 the high as we end our weekend on Sunday, and then a bit of a cool down with a chance for rain on Monday and Tuesday, mid-50s, a bit of a break on Wednesday and 55, and then a chance for some light showers Thursday. High temperature then, once again, 55 degrees. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Winter is a great time to trade in your current hot tub. Turn your old hot tub into money with Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa's trade-in program. And with Blue Lagoon's home show pricing, you can save $500 to $1,000 off of any new artesian spa or take advantage of a free Bluetooth music experience. Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa recommends draining your hot tub every 3 months. Ask us about our drain and refill special for only $99. Stop on by Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa today.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
AC Checker has new owners who put customer service first. When you have to get there on time, call fast, friendly, reliable AC Checker, 663-TAXI. AC Checker has the industry's only on-time or it's free guarantee. Conditions apply. Call AC Checker, 663-TAXI to schedule your cab or schedule online at acchecker.com. Call American Classic Taxi, 663-TAXI. That's 663-8294.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happily finally Friday to you. Now, warning, this sportscast is going to make you miss sports even more. All right? You've been warned. If you're like us and really missing any kind of sports whatsoever, especially local high school sports, NCWLIFE has you covered. Tune in tonight at 7 o'clock for both ends of a Big 9 baseball doubleheader from a season ago between Wenatchee Panthers and the West Valley Rams. Game 1 went Wenatchee's way. Joel Norman had the call here on the NCWLIFE channel.
Check that 444 at the end, 778 OPS. It's a hit and run, and it gets underneath the glove of the third baseman, Wolf, into left field. The throw going over to third is not in time, so advancing over to third is Thomas. Coming through with the clutch hit is Huffaker. An RBI single to score TJ Scherting, and the Wenatchee Panthers are on board 1-0. And an RBI single by Huffaker here in the bottom of the first. Still no outs in the inning. Thomas over at third after he singled 2 batters ago. Huffaker at first after his RBI single. Now Haynes connects on this one towards center, moving over a bit to his right and making the catch is the center fielder. He'll throw that one in, but not in time, as reaching and scoring on the play due to that sacrifice fly is Thomas. After Emerson, the left fielder, grounded out to move Blackney over to third, and he swings and connects, and that'll bring in another run as that gets down in right center field. Hagum heading towards second. The throw not going to get him, and he's in there with a stand-up RBI double. It's 3-0 Wenatchee in the second inning in double headers. Connects on this one, and he does have his first base hit of the season. A single to left field. 1 run is in. Rubash is rounding third, and he's going to score as well. A 2 RBI single by Carson Emerson, and it's 5-0 Wenatchee in the third.
Wenatchee went on to win the game 10-0 in 5 innings. They won the nightcap as well. Watch all the action starting at 7 here tonight on the NCWLIFE channel. Then, if that's not enough, we have 2 great soccer matches tomorrow afternoon and evening on NCWLIFE. First at 2 o'clock, it's Wenatchee and Eastmont. From March 26th in a snowy Lee Bofto field of the Apple Bowl, the Wildcats and Panthers would notch another classic in the series. Sebastian Moraga and Matt Wisen had the call right here.
Camarillo. Gergerson's lighted out of position. The shot across. Viene. Goal. Offside. No goal.
No goal, offside.
Oh my goodness. Vasquez, right-footed shot. Vasquez! Oh my goodness.
Heck of a save. Great shot.
Oh my goodness. We're still in action. Now it goes out of bounds. Some front page worthy stuff. Camarillo. The run-up. The shot. Camarillo. Goal, 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 goal. Wenatchee takes the lead. Jose Camarillo at the edge of halftime. Taken back by Wenatchee.
Good looking ball there.
Good ball that time. Left-footed shot. Right-footed shot, I beg your pardon.
Oh, great save.
And a beautiful save by Jeremy Gregerson. Counter in the making, indeed, yes. Lopez. Off to the races is Camarillo. Into the box. Camarillo shot across. Who's going to sink it in? Goal! Oh, my goodness! Camarillo! Go, 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 go! Jose Camarillo makes it 2-0 Wenatchee. Nelson. And there's the whistle that indicates that this game is over and Wenatchee has defeated its arch rival from across the bridge, Eastmont, by a score of 2-0.
Yet another great match. 7 o'clock tomorrow night, Wenatchee hosting a Big 9 match with Moses Lake. That's from April 2nd of last year. All right, see, we told you the Sportscast was really going to make you miss sports, and now what will put you over the top is my continuing series, No Sports? No problem. So once again, here we are. What's a sports guy to do when there are no sports? Well, have some fun on the table at home with some fan boat racing. All right, so here's what you're going to need. You're going to need a few pieces of just regular paper. You'll need a marker of some sort. And I'll show you how to fold these real quick. Okay, once you have your boats folded, you mark the numbers on them, and then you put them on the dining room table. So here we have the boats, 1, 2, 3, and 4. They're in their own special lanes. I put the tape down again, but I decided that I'll need some brooms for this one. Now, you can use a hairdryer. I was thinking you could blow on them, but then we don't want this whole exchange of breath going on. So I've got an industrial way of doing my race. I have a giant fan. So here we go, fan boat racing. We got boat 1, boat 2, boat 3, boat 4. And we're gonna turn the industrial fan on and see who's gonna win. All right, so here we go. Fan is on, and it will be boat 3 in the lead to go, and it's boat 3 that gets the win. Now, I had some people saying that maybe boat 3 is going to win all the time because it's in the middle lanes there and the fan is blowing in a particular direction. Well, let's try it again. Here we go. Turn the fan on, see who's going to win. And 4 takes the early lead. There goes 3 again, but 2 comes through in the end. Number 2 coming from behind and getting the victory. There you go, fan boat racing. What a sports guy does when there is no sports. Hopefully I'll have some real sports to talk about next week. Grant, have a great weekend. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Eric. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us. Have a great weekend, everyone.
The producer of the NCWLIFE magazine. Each week, I'm bringing you a look behind the scenes of the faces, places, and events that make North Central Washington the place we call home. Tune in every weekday for an in-depth look at a new topic each week. From local artists in their studios to businesses breaking barriers that might surprise you and everything in between. Join me on the NCWLIFE magazine right here on the NCWLIFE channel.
Hey there, Wenatchee. I'm Sean Lee, and I'm inviting you to check out the NCW Movie Guide to keep up on what movies are playing in our town.